They say small business is the backbone of America. So what's the best way to support a small business? It is to learn more about them and share with your family and friends. We interview founders from across the world who have started and scaled their business through the ups and downs, long hours, and the rewards that come from sacrificing their time to build their business. Welcome to First to Arrive, Last to Leave, the journey of an entrepreneur.
All right, welcome to another episode of First to Arrive, Last to Leave. I'm Erin Greger.
I'm Courtney Radloff.
And today we have another very special guest. We have Jacqueline Clayborn, the CEO of ONC National. Jacqueline, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Yes, you are very technical. We were laughing because Courtney was trying to get me to send you a pin, and she's like, she's not an Apple user. I'm like, she's a network girl, I guarantee you. It's an Android. You're an Android girl, aren't you?
So yes, I am. I must agree. But it's like, I do have an Apple phone, but it's like dead, and I never use it.
Because I saw your business, I'm like, oh, she's not using an Apple. I can guarantee you that. So,
and now I'm curious, why not? There's like, this is like an inside joke that I don't understand.
Yeah. Network girl, could you give like the high level overview of why Android's better than iPhone?
That's so funny. You know, for me though, I feel like I'm in more control of my data and what I want to, happen, and I have more choices, even though I know Apple is really good for a lot of stuff. And we do have some of those, products, but yeah. Android all the way. That is so funny.
I felt like an old lady because Lindsay's in here. She's a sugar. She's like, here's how you do it. She's like, oh, she must not have Apple. I'm like, bet you she does it. So before tell us about your company. And we talked earlier, you were like, Goldman Sachs was several years ago now. So tell us about like network, like the whole building networks and helping companies with networks and how you got into that and then got on your own.
Sure. So I'm from Arkansas, and you can hear in the accent. And when I talk about Arkansas, the accent comes out a lot more. So my uncle actually has a company. He has a cable wiring company, and during the summer, I would come up and work as his assistant. And then, I ended up moving here and being his executive assistant for 5 years, learning about the IT field. But in college, I actually used to be in the automotive business. And so when I was there, I learned how to sell, how to give good customer service, systems and processes. And so I started doing that part-time and working for my uncle part-time. And, I wanted a little bit more, and he was okay with, his office. I'm like, let's open up some more offices. He didn't want to do that. So I was just like, okay, well, maybe I'll just kind of go into the automotive business. So I was in there for 13 years. I worked as a internet sales, a sales manager, finance manager, operations director. And for 13 years, I kind of was loving it. I moved from Dallas to Florida to Charlotte because they would have me move and help different dealerships create their systems. But I was like, let me do something for my family. And I just decided to move back to Dallas. And I didn't start with wanting an IT company. I was going to be a consultant because I learned so much in the sales anywhere from finance to marketing. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. Some of my friends and family were like, oh, no, we're good. We don't want a CRM system, a customer relationship management system. We don't want that. And I'm like, well, I just resigned from my salary pay plus extra bonus job, And I said, if I can do it for them, I can start this from scratch because, that's what sales is. You work 100% off a commission. And I ended up, just starting it, getting our company certified as a woman-owned business.
Yes.
And just kind of moving from there. It wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
But you just got to roll your sleeves up and just continue to believe and take a step forward, So that's kind of how I started.
How did you figure out what services to provide? And because it sounds like you're pretty specific, but was that always the case, or were you broad and tightened it up?
Well, something about car people, they're horrible. They want to add accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for different rims of income. So we started with structured cabling where we just run the cable wiring, and then we just started pivoting into managed services or doing AV work. and just stuff like that. So basically what I like to do with my clients is actually sit down and tailor package things for them, figure out what their needs are, and then kind of help them with their needs. I don't necessarily have to know how to do it. I just have to know how to get it done. And that's what I think my strength is just figuring out the puzzle and getting things done.
I love that. And it seems like that little bit of entrepreneurial spirit happened by you coming out and helping your uncle. Mm-hmm. What were some of the things, like going into college, did you take that information and go, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, or what were you studying then?
Actually, I went to school for performing arts.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, so in film, I love this. I have a podcast media studio at my office.
Good. Okay.
Gosh. I really love that. But what made me actually do it was I was afraid to speak in public. Mm-hmm. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to face my fears. So that's partially it. Another thing is I come from an entrepreneurial background, a family. My mom had her own beauty salon when I was like 10. I'm like, thank you for calling, da-da-da-da, yes. How can I help you? So she taught me that. My grandfather, he used to have a company where all of the sons and the daughters, we kind of worked up, and granddaughters worked up and learned from that. So I think it's in my blood.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
For sure. And how the whole, especially women, I'm going to say this, we are not the best at delegating a lot of times. So I would love to hear about your perspective of, as you expand, this is very technical stuff. And I mean, I'm assuming even if you know how to do this on this technical side, this is a whole other, cabling versus all these other things. So how are you finding the right people and putting those people in place to do all this work for you, where you can just be that salesperson?
Well, that's such a good question. I think it's just the combination of me working with my uncle and then me being in the automotive business, because in the automotive business, you have to pivot a lot, mm-hmm. and you have to just get down to what is the client trying to accomplish. And you have to know a little bit about everything. Before I was able to hire subcontractors or employees, I literally had to get out there and run the cable myself. Can you believe that? I don't do that anymore, but one of our largest clients found out about us on Google, and they were like, hey, I'm not going to mention their names. They were like, hey, we need some fiber terminated. We need this emergency done tomorrow. Can you send someone? I was like, absolutely. At the time, we didn't have a fiber person on our staff. However, I do know how to troubleshoot, because really that's what it is. It's just mm-hmm. trying to figure out. I'm like, okay, it could be a number of things. I literally went out there, and troubleshooted, and we were able to figure out, okay, what was wrong with it. And now that client brings us in nearly $2 million a year, and it's growing. So we're actually putting a team together, because they're like, listen, we have a year's worth of work that we need y'all to do in 6 months. And we're like, okay, great. So it's a combination of things. I used to play sports, so you got to stay on your toes.
Yeah.
And you got to be a forward thinker, and just have a can-do attitude and a servant's heart. So as far as finding new people, I think it comes down to the culture of our company. Our mission, our value, our core values are very important for me. And so when we're interviewing, we try to match and align those things up. Something that we also do is something that's called culture index. So we do a culture index survey, and it kind of helps us understand work behaviors to personal behaviors. It even helped me as a leader, because on my culture index, I think my EU number is like a 57, and the highest you can get is a 60. And that's like your endurance to continue to work. And I was like, why is everyone so slow? I don't understand. But now I'm like, because their EU number is this, but this is their talent. And so this is my talent. So now it kind of helps us, arrange our people, put the right people in the right place. It's a book that I like to listen to and read. It's called Traction by Gino Wickman. Yeah. So the EOS system, that really helped me a lot, because my brain and everything was everywhere. But it helps you align, your business. And with those two things, we were able to hire a really phenomenal operations, our COO, and she has a lot of strengths that I don't. So we have to hire for our weaknesses. And before I'm like, oh, well, we're good, we're alike.
Yeah.
But no, you really want to hire for your weaknesses. Something that she's really good at is operations and processes and procedures and systems. And so now I'm not like, oh, our people are slow. They're not. They're very talented. But it was slowing me down because I can process those things a lot faster. And they process stuff faster than me in their talent. But it's just finding, the balance and getting the people with the right attitude as well.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm long-winded.
No, that's passionate about something. Believe me, I'd much rather have long-winded than I hire.
Totally.
Like, okay. No, it's great.
Okay, so you came back to Dallas and then you started your own business. What was how did you ramp up? Was this a side hustle or you were like, nope, just gonna hit the ground running?
You know what I did? When I was at my previous job, I knew that it wasn't fulfilling me, but I knew I couldn't just quit my job. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give them the very best that I have while I'm at work. And in my off time, I'm going to slowly work on building the foundation. So what I started doing is when I would come home, sometimes it would be 10, 11 o'clock at night. I was like, okay, I'm going to take 30 minutes today and I'm going to work on this. So we started with just getting the paperwork and then after that, the certifications. Then after that, I started working on the website. So I did all of that stuff before I even started the company. And I was like, I'm just going to do a little bit at a time because if we just take one step in front of the other, we'll eventually get to our goals,
Yeah. I love it. You just seem I love your attitude from a perspective of there's so many people that are like, I don't know how to grow or I don't know what to do. And I feel like you're, all right, I just need to make some more calls or I need to get out a little bit more. Like there's not I don't know what to do. Like you're just like, I got this. Like, and working in the car industry, I'm sure you taught that. Did it change for you going from the car industry working versus this is my own thing where there's a different fire under you, or is it just the same person across?
Well, that's a really good question. So when I initially decided to move away, I was like, oh, it's not going to be anything different. I can do this. I worked off of 100% commission.
Yeah.
So it's still that aspect because we do have to perform and service our clients. But the difference that I'm finding now is I have to become a better leader. At one time, I thought I was a really good leader. I'm like, I'm leading my team here. I'm doing this. But now I'm like, oh, I have to elevate and I have to continue to grow and learn different things. So that's been the biggest focus for me is just learning how to be a better leader and lead people. I tell our team that it's in a servant's heart. So that's me. Like I tell our team, I'm here to serve you guys. I'm here to serve our clients in our community. So that's really important. And it goes back to really the core values. I had to realign the core values that I would like for our company to stand for and just stick towards those core values.
What else has changed for you to become a better leader? Like what else did you have to do?
A great question. So I'm steadily now in present day growing as a leader. It's been a big transition to actually hire a COO for our company and let go of the vine like Traction in Gino Wickman's book says, I was like, I'm not going to have a problem letting go of the vine. and we've had a couple of conversations privately between the COO and myself. And she's like, hey, Jacqueline, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? I don't know.
You're like grasping onto it. I'm good.
I didn't realize that I was going to be like that because I was just like, oh, no, we need a COO. And so now I'm just learning to trust our team. And that's actually helping me evolve as a leader because I think that you can lead up. And I think that she's helping me to be a better leader. So that's the struggle that we're currently going through right now. But, I am letting go of the vine. And I do trust her leadership. And then you have to give your team the ability to work in their talent. So I'm learning at this point that I have to step back and realign my focuses. for the company. And now I can be the real visionary and figure out what we're going to do the next 5 years, the next 10, the next 25,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So I take that you have a plan.
Yeah. And, Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program has been just phenomenal. So they helped you with your growth plan. And I was like, okay, well, we did that. And I was like, well, I got everything that I needed. Now I'm working on our next growth plan. I'm working on my exit strategy. Your exit strategy doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to, you're going to sell your business. You can still keep your business, but it's like working on that exit strategy. And before I started the company, I didn't even think about that, But now I'm like, okay, well, what is my exit strategy? And so with that COO, I want to create other realms of income. And I also want to help other entrepreneurs. That's so important to me. I love it. It's such a passion. And that's one of the things, again, that I liked about Goldman Sachs is that we all connect together. And if we connect together, we grow together. I was so fortunate and so blessed this week to be on a focus group for Goldman Sachs. They have had over 13,000 graduates from the program, and it was less than 10 people that were representing the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. Wow. So it was like, wow, I have a voice, and I can help impact the future Goldman Sachs and the previous alumni. So that's such a blessing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's passing the baton.
Yeah. Well, and I always say, too, about the exit strategy, a lot of people think it's the exit strategy to leave. And the example I always give, it's like getting your house ready to a point to sell. Like, you enjoy it, right? You don't have to sell it, but a lot of times when you get those little things fixed, you get the remodeling done you want, and you can actually enjoy. It's the same with the business. When you get it to a place that it's viable or you can exit from it, it's much more enjoyable business because you're out of it versus they need me and I have to be here every day and I have to be part of this. That's how I always, look at that place.
Yeah, that absolutely. And I share these thoughts with our team as well. And what I like to do is one-on-ones with our team and figure out what their vision is. Because that's what I learned in the automotive business. In the background, the way my parents raised me is to have a servant's heart. So I want to make sure ONC National aligns with our team's personal goals as well. So what's important to you, getting your kids through college or doing this, starting a business of your own. I even encourage that in our company.
Wow.
Like, how can I help you? How can we team up? Because you don't want to come to work and be miserable. And for some years in the automotive business, it was miserable for me. In some years, it was very joyful. But the years that it was joyful was based off of the leadership that I had, and they helped encourage me. And I have to give a shout out to Mike Rasmussen. He was my one of my great bosses in Dallas, and then he moved me to Florida and then to Charlotte. So he kind of took me under his wing. I remember one day, fresh in his dealership, and I went up and talked to him, and I was like, well, I want to learn how to do your job. And he said, really? And he said, I'll do everything that I can to show you how to do my job. And that's what he did. And that's why I was so blessed to work with him in those 3 different states. And I still talk to him to this day. He still is an advisory sounding board for me. And I want to do that for our team. But he helped me develop in the vision, in my future vision of what I wanted. And I want to give that same thing back to our team.
I think that's beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that you ask for what you want.
Yeah. You have to speak it. You believe it. And I do daily meditations, and it's about having a positive attitude because we can really manifest whatever we want. You'd be amazed at just speaking what you want, because a lot of times we focus on what we don't want. So we're manifesting more of that. And so I try to sit down the first 10, 15 minutes of the day, last 10 or 15 minutes of the night, and just center myself. Because, when you go to sleep, your subconscious is still working.
Yeah.
So it's just okay, we're going to focus on positive, affirmations and stuff like that.
What's your favorite affirmation?
Oh, see, you know what? It goes back to my mom. Believe in the magic of your dreams.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then I have another one, just job. so my dad would say that. My mom would always say, believe in the magic of your dreams when we were little. So they were putting that in our mind. And my dad, I would be afraid to make a decision. And he's like, baby, just jump. He was like, you're going to figure it out. Or you gonna,
or you're gonna,
yeah. But either way, you're learning.
Exactly.
Right? Like if you don't fail, like how do you learn?
You know? No, that's so right. And Mike Rasmussen would always say, Jackie, you never can connect the dots when you're moving forward. But if you turn around, you're always able to connect the dots. That was something that was very powerful for me because it was a lot of times I was just like, why am I still working here? I'm so miserable. I don't really like it. And then now I'm turning around. I'm like, oh, I had to do this. So now I know how to manage my accounting department. I went through this because I needed to know how to manage our marketing and our internet and all of these other things. So it's like really everything is a part of your greater purpose and you just have to connect the dots. And sometimes you can't connect them moving forward. You have to turn around and reflect.
Yeah. Oh, that just gave me the chills. I love that so much.
So what's been hard? Like you've made it sound like I'm gonna guess it hasn't been smooth sailing.
Oh yeah,
like,
sure.
What have been a couple of things that maybe you didn't anticipate that you had to overcome, and it made business challenging?
You know what? I'm gonna say your team and your employees, right? I remember listening to this lady. I think she owned a company called Point to Point Security or something like that. I think she sold it, but she had a company. She said, oh, you just have to get the right team. And then, like, at the time when they're speaking, you're like, well, of course you got to get the right
exactly.
Right. But it's like after you kind of go through that experience, you understand how do you get the right team. First, you have to figure out what exactly you need. You want to make sure that now your culture has to be in alignment. I would say that it was basically putting a good team together. Now I can say that I feel quite fortunate and blessed that our team has the same passion that I have about the company. And that was hard because some people they don't have passion and maybe they don't care. But it goes back to setting the foundation for your company. And I started reflecting on our core values, like how do we want to treat our clients? And that doesn't mean that we do everything right, but guess what? We try to, and if we don't, we try to go back and fix those things. But it's about having a personable relationship and just working through the hard times. But I would definitely say finding the right team. And it's a science. You have to, get your onboarding together, your culture index, and do a lot of one-on-ones. You got to care about people, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the program, but what was the initial, what made you go to Goldman Sachs? Like, how did you hear about it?
Mm-hmm. I actually heard about the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program through one of our partners, actually. And when I say partners, they actually do the same thing that we do. Mm-hmm. I met them through a certification. We were getting a minority certification, and they called and said, hey, Jacqueline, I know you just love to learn stuff. I think Goldman Sachs will be great for you. And Natasha Harris from Goldman Sachs, she called me. We did the onboarding, and that's how I found out about it. And I continue to go do speaking engagements for them because it's been such a great opportunity for me in helping me grow. In 2019 and 2020, like all Americans and everyone across the world, it was very hard, What made us quite fortunate was our partnership with Goldman Sachs. We were able to partner with different businesses and brainstorm. We still have mastermind meetings and all of that. So that really helped our company. So I'm forever rooting for Goldman Sachs. That was a small business program.
How did your business change? So what did your business look like going in versus coming out?
It was a multitude of changes. I think something that helped me is when I went through the program. After that, I took the information that I learned and I went back and taught it to our team. It made me be more of a forward thinker and strategize because they touch every point. They touch finances, marketing, legal, any processes and procedures, which was my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm all about the processes and procedures, but I would just say just having a sounding board, because you don't know what you don't know, and now you're around a multitude of business owners, and not just with your cohort.
Right.
You actually have access to all the 13,000 cohorts that are in the United States. We have an app. I've worked with other people in different cities and states based off of that app, but we all are rowing in the same direction. So that's been really, really great for me, is to row in the same direction.
I like that analogy. Yeah. Yeah. Because it can be lonely. Or you feel like I'm the only one dealing with this.
Yeah.
That was so huge, because sometimes your family might not understand, you know? And I think that was something that really helped me in my mind, is all of us, we understand. And it's like, okay, now we got someone to lean on, we can talk to, and we're a family and a team. So that was a very great point. That helped me a lot.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Want to do rapid fire?
Yeah. All right. We'll just. Well, actually, let's do this before we
wanted to do that, but you go ahead.
No, but rapid fire. But before that, what's next for you?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what's on the horizon?
You know, the next thing is to start working more in our podcast media room and putting out more content. I'll have to have.
I'll vote for that. Yeah.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, that's the next thing. And then just kind of figuring out, what is our vision for the next 10 years? We're starting to work on those things and put different things in place. Like, you know, some of our teammates, they have children. So I want to start working on, you know, putting money aside for them to help their children get through college, or, you know, invest in their dreams. So that's the big thing for me next. I just want to get to the point where I'm able to give back a lot more.
That's awesome. What's your sweet spot for your client? I didn't ask that. Like,
well, you know what? This is the horrible thing about me, because I'm like in sales. Well, that was mostly my background. It's like I like to start different divisions and just serve, you know. Right now we work with a lot of general contractors.
Okay.
And then we work with regular business to business, you know, clients as well. But it's just a client that's commercial.
Okay.
You know, maybe a small to mid-sized business. That's pretty much a sweet spot for us.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. But yeah. All right. Rapid fire.
Are you ready? Okay. Your favorite beverage?
Let's see. You know what? Right now I'm into water.
That's beverage.
Yeah.
PG, you know, water, but you know what? Gatorade. I like the grape flavor. The zero. Gatorade Zero.
Gatorade's always a good one.
Yeah. It's been a minute. Best advice you've ever been given?
You know what? Just like my mom said, to believe in the magic of your dreams.
I love that. I've never heard that before, and I love it.
You just have to believe in yourself, because sometimes we don't, and sometimes we talk in our head, but if you just believe in the magic of your dreams and keep moving forward, you'll eventually get to where you need to be.
Yeah, it's so true. I love that. If you could have dinner with anyone?
You know, I just really enjoy having dinner with my family and friends. I work a ton, and so my brothers, they like to cook, so we have cook-offs. Because we always act like we can cook better than each other. So that's so fun, because, you know, I grew up with a really tight family, so we all like to cook. So anything family gathering, cook-offs, we're competing against each other. I love that.
Do you pick like a topic or a ingredient?
Like a theme?
Yeah.
You know what? It just kind of depends. So with my brother Brandon, he thinks that he can cook. So it doesn't matter if he can cook better than me or I can cook better than him. We're always like, oh no, you can't beat me. My brother Brian, see, the only time he cooks is when none of us are gonna cook, and he has to be starving to cook. You know, my sister Ashley, she likes to bake, so she bakes a lot of stuff from scratch. AJ, he likes to, you know, he'll go barbecue and cook some really great food. And Jackson, he's just all talented. He will get in the kitchen and just cook anything. So all of us kind of learned how to cook.
So 6.
Can you believe it?
Are they here or?
You know what? Every single one of them are here. That's
awesome.
We all moved up here from Dallas at different times. We went to different colleges and stuff here. But yeah, all of us now are here.
Oh, that's cool. I wish I had a cool family.
Let me tell you, and you're so funny. It's 4 of us that work in the business.
Oh, they work in your business? Like, oh,
what? So Ashley, my
that's a whole twist.
I know.
Yeah, I was like,
that was one of the Goldman Sach things that we were working on. I'm like, how do you work with family? It was very challenging at first, but what happened was I had to understand their talent. Like one of my brothers, I wanted them to literally estimate, but they don't like estimating. They like to install the network cabling. So I was like, I had to grow as a leader. So that's why I'm saying we have to evolve constantly as a leader and be a leader of people and understand what their desires are and their talents. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So food, any meal with family.
I love it. It's so simple. Yes. Yeah.
Your morning routine.
So I get up in the morning and I typically, the first thing that I do, I'll probably go wash my face, brush my teeth, and then I'll go into my meditation area and I will light a candle. It's the candle from Bath and Body Works, the stress relief. So you wouldn't think that I would want that day early in the morning, but sometimes it's a lot of stress that starts first thing in the morning. So yeah, I get up and I do that and I start in gratitude. And I'm like, I'm thankful for this. Thank you for this. Because when you start at those high vibrations, it just makes your whole day a lot easier. So that's and I drink water.
Yeah.
I love it. You're making me want to skip coffee. It's too hard right now. What are you currently reading?
You know what? I actually just got this book. Okay, so I cheat sometimes and I do an audio book.
That's not cheating.
That's reading.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay,
straight up.
okay, good. You know what is wrong with me is I will buy the audio book and then I'll buy
100%. Yes, because I need a Yes,
I'll do that.
Well, if I loved a book, if I get it on audio and then have to buy the physical book of it.
I'm like, dang, we're doing double the sales.
Yeah.
So I do that. But one of my good friends, Cerise, she was like, Jackie, you should read this book. I will teach you to be rich.
Oh,
yes. So I'm sorry. This is the book that I'm reading right now. And her husband are so phenomenal. They're such great mentors. They actually sold their business about a year and a half ago for a very good profit margin. I won't put their business on blast, but they've been mentoring me a lot, and that's what I like about us as entrepreneurs getting together and just because we all go through the same thing.
Yeah.
We just may have a couple of different commas, in our bank account, but it's the same journey.
It really is.
So we were talking about investment and stuff, and she was like, this is a really good friend. You should read that book. So that's what I'm reading.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's got a show on Netflix now.
Yeah, he does.
Where he's
He
helping
does.
people.
I've seen all 8 episodes.
Okay. I haven't watched it yet.
Who is it?
Remit.
Yeah.
Remit. What's his last name? Yeah.
Top bucket list item.
You know what? I'm so proud of myself because for so many years I said, you know what? I'm going to travel, but out of the country. But if you don't have your passport, how you going to travel out of the country?
Yeah.
So I went and got my passport, and I'm super excited. So now I'm starting to kind of put a plan of action together on where I want to travel.
Oh, good.
So you have to take actionable steps. For so many years I was like, oh, I'm going to travel. Well, how are you going to travel if you don't have your passport?
Where's your first stop?
You know what? I want to go a couple of different places. I was talking to my friend because she teaches out of the country. So like Dubai and Paris.
Yes.
I want to see London.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw whole one. I want to see the pyramids. It's a lot of stuff. So I'm planning it out over the next year to 2 years on where I'm going to go.
Oh, I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, where you go.
Yeah, which the first one is. Paris is amazing. So is London. What's your guilty pleasure?
This is horrible. I eat ice cream, the Oreo ice cream. So either
That's not horrible.
oh my goodness, it's horrible if you eat the whole thing.
No,
I'll do that in about a day and a half.
I can't have it in my house because of that reason. Because if it's there, it's like, a little spoonful here, a little spoonful there, and then suddenly it's gone.
Okay, but have you seen these ninja ice cream makers that everybody's, and they're putting They're putting
Have you seen these things?
they're putting protein powder in and like Jello or something like
Yes.
pudding, and then they're like, this only has 264 calories and like
High in protein.
high in protein, and then they're blending it up, and it looks amazing. And then you go and look, and you're like, that little ninja thing is $174.
Right.
And is it really good, or is it just protein powder?
So
like, I mean,
Yeah. So this is what's funny is I've been seeing this on TikTok, and like I told my husband, my birthday's in September. I'm like, I know what I want for my birthday. I want the Ninja Creamery. And then I asked him the other day, and I'm like, what do you want for Father's Day? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, would you like a Ninja Creamery? I'm like, can we get that for you? Would you like that for Father's Day? Because I'd like to buy you that. Like, if you like that. This thing is amazing. Like they make pumpkin ice cream, but they make healthier versions of it. And then you freeze it, and then you pop it up, and it makes it this perfect texture.
Oh wow, my sister will love this. She's all into the health.
Yeah.
well,
They make Oreo cookie stuff. They make it. I mean, obviously you're putting some Oreos in there, right? But it's like a healthier milk versus whole milk. So you're like trying to not.
well, I thought
And you don't have to make it healthy either.
no. I even saw they put Kendall. Is it Kendall Toole? She's from Peloton. I love her. She did one where like she slipped in like the Oreo thins. I was like, girl, you still put an Oreo in there. I love you, but that like it's like here it goes. I'm like, and it blends up, and it's like just looks like magic.
Yeah. This thing is yes. I'm like totally in none of this thing. And I went to buy it one day, and they were sold out. And then I'm like, I'll just wait for it for my birthday. And now I think it could be a great Father's Day gift.
So
I'm gonna lean into that. I see you running down the stairs, opening it for him. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, let's open it. I've got some ingredients. Open it. Let's see.
Free prep.
Yeah. All right. So if somebody were to get a hold of you, find out more, connect with you, where is the best place for them to go?
So they can go to our website at www.oncnational.com. My direct cell phone number is 469.
Oh, you're brave.
I know, right? 46. Okay, well,
No.
She just got a great tone.
Yeah, I know.
And my personal number.
You won't be that flooded. You're good.
right? 469-254-4542.
Okay, awesome. And we'll put that on our notes page over at First to Arrive, Last to Leave. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you. This has been great. I really appreciate you guys inviting me.
Well, thank you for being here.